Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's a Natch, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Wednesday edition of The ProBoh Show. How are you doing out there, folks? How are you doing, Natch?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, hump day, man. Is this week, is it being as tough for you as it is for me?
No, not really.
Oh, dude. I'm having a mental health crisis right now. Unbelievable. I don't know. I shouldn't have taken so long off for Christmas. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying the show and everything, just everything else. And tomorrow's the meeting day. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, it's like... They should use the director meetings in Vaughan to break terrorists in Guantanamo Bay. I would tell them where the chemical weapons are if it got me out of those things earlier. A big good morning to our early arrivers in the audience. We've got the Bridge here and Eugene. How are you doing, guys? If you want to join us in the audience and participate in all the fun live, you can do that at twitch.tv/professional bohemian. That's Bohemio Profesional, pero en inglés. Let's see what people are saying. Good morning, Rob, says the Bridge. Hi, guys, says Eugene. Vero's here. She says, good morning, beautiful warriors around the universe and beyond. It sounds like you need to sort yourself out, Rob, says the Bridge. Says you and anyone who's ever met me. Yeah, I don't know. I think I need a holiday. Natch, yeah, I need a holiday. This is the month off has given me the need and desire to take a break. Yeah, I don't know. So midweek, your week's going fine. All right, that just tells me that we need to ramp things up, Natch. We need to make some ads. We need to do some things. I got like 3 emails yesterday, all of which are like a week's worth of work that needs to be done by Friday. Oh, wop, 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 wop. Back to the office. Is there post-vacational blues is what they call it, right? It's the worst. Are you feeling that out there in the audience? The post-vacation blues, post-vacation depression. If you are, settle in, because boy, do we have a show for you today. In today's... Oh, well, there's not 100 humans today. What? He's breaking the formula? Natch, what is wrong with this guy? No, there's not 100 humans today. Maybe we'll do something different if we have time. But in today's Complete the News, we'll find out who's related to Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, the actor. Not un cuervo que se llama Russell. Russell Crowe. We'll find out who he's related to and why a driver opened a beer while driving in Canada. Canada is quickly becoming the new Florida, Natch. All right. And today's unpopular opinion is all forms of censorship should be abolished. Todas las formas de censura deberían ser abolidas. Is that right, Natch? Find it hard to know, you know.
Nivelazo.
Yeah, how do you think they voted on? Oh, well, we'll get to this. As always, I posted a poll on Instagram. And the audience there has spoken, but really the real decision makers are you guys joining us in the chat, in the live audience on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. But if you want to be involved in the voting that goes on before the show, you can do that on Instagram at @professional bohemian, bohemio profesional, etc. By the way, yesterday's show, if you're, I did promise I would, it was with regards to voting. And I did post a special list of content about voter suppression, both here in Europe and in the United States. So I do encourage you to go check out that post on Patreon. It is open for everyone. It's not a paid post. All right, let's catch up with the chat. It sounds like you need to sort yourself out, eat well, and sleep. That's the problem, Natch. I'm not sleeping, man. Do you sleep? Are you sleeping okay?
I see. So
You've been getting in earlier than me every day this week. I just can't. Oh, mental health crisis, guys. Send me your energy. I need it. You know, I only had one coffee this morning. I thought what I maybe need to do, because this is how stupid I am, Natch, is drink less coffee. The 5 a day isn't doing it for me. I'm going to try and drink less. So I'm just, oh man, I'm furious right now. I never get post-vacation blues, says the chat. Do you not? That's because your life is a vacation. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There you go. Your life is a vacation. Post-vacation blues. Here we go. Vero's about to get a nivelazo. Post-vacation blues. Síndrome post-vacacional. Oh.
Nivelazo.
Do you suffer from that at all, Natch? Post-vacation blues?
A little bit, not yet this week, but I guess next week or...
Did you see the list of adverts I sent you yesterday? Come on, catch up, Natch. I can't be the only one in there miserable. It's not allowed. Now it is because I don't work. Exactly. I knew that, Bridge. I knew that. All right. I tell you what, guys. I'm here. You're here. Let's see what's going on in the world today. Quite a lot of things, actually. Let's start off with, for most of you who listen to the podcast, I imagine you have no idea about Vaughan Radio because a lot of you download it and you have no idea where we broadcast it. We broadcast it on Vaughan Radio in Spain. Vaughan Radio is a language academy, primarily, with its own radio station. Well, there are competitors out there, friends. There are competitors. No one competes with Vaughan, really, right, Natch? We're a cut above the rest. But there is one app, there is one platform that people constantly bandy around as being just so amazing. That app, can you guess where it is? Actually, I'm worried to ask you this, Natch, because you're going to say like a million others.
No, I only know one.
Go on.
Duolingo.
Duolingo! The only one. Well, Duolingo cuts. Duolingo despide. Duolingo cuts 10% of contractors, de sus contratistas, as it uses more artificial intelligence to create app content. So Duolingo despide de 10%, porcentaje.
El 10%.
El 10%, thank you. De sus contratistas mientras utiliza más inteligencia artificial para crear contenidos de la aplicación. Or en la aplicación. I don't know, guys. Go on. I'm struggling this week. Wednesday. It's uphill. So there you go. Duolingo Inc., a language learning software company, has reduced its contractor workforce by 10% as it increasingly utilizes generative artificial intelligence to create app content. This move reflects a broader trend where companies are replacing tasks traditionally done by humans with AI tools. Duolingo's use of AI includes generating scripts for language teaching shows, creating in-app voices, and offering AI-generated feedback and conversations in its premium user tier. Wow. How do you feel about that? I don't know. I mean, we predicted this, Natch. We predicted this over a year ago. This is happening. This is only going to get more and more widespread. I'm actually surprised it's only 10% of their workforce. Because they are primarily, any app company is primarily a content company. Now, a few things here, a few things to point out before you think I'm just poo-pooing the competition. Duolingo hasn't laid off any full-time employees, just the contractors. But hey, contractors are employees too. And apparently the people who work at Duolingo, according to this Bloomberg article, the full-time employees who have maintained their jobs are actually still using AI in their own jobs to generate content. Surprised more people don't use elves like I do, Natch. Now, you don't beckon to the demands and the internet access. You know, you just whip an elf. Content falls from the sky. I used to have a different strategy, says the Bridge, when I was working at the restaurant, and it worked just as well in order to avoid post-vacational blues. I never had holidays or a single day off in a week. You know, I tried that last year. I didn't, well, not like I tried it. I just didn't have any days off. Or when I did, it was just a day off here or there, which led me to have to take a month off at Christmas because I'd accumulated so much time off. And now I want to kill people. So, there you go. Get me a coffee stat. Just hook it up to my vein. Good morning, guys. What is Duolingo, says MJ Symbol. Well, yeah, what even is Duolingo? Come on, you're listening to Vaughan Radio. The bridge. I never had holidays or a single day off, and I never got the blues. Yeah, I wouldn't call it the blues. I don't think I have post-vacational depression. I think I have post-vacational anger. Yeah, I'm going through the 7 stages of grief, Natch. Finally, I'll reach acceptance. Oh, God, I'm here. It's not going to change. Finally, I'll reach acceptance. It'll be okay. All right, so there you go. Duolingo cutting staff. Also, given that we're on the show, as most of you know, we produce the show here in Madrid, in the heart of Europe, but we are listened to by people all over the world, from Eugene in Russia to, well, all our friends in the United States and everywhere in between, the Netherlands, Spain. That is made possible by an application called Twitch. Most of you who are watching us live right now are watching us on Twitch. Well, Twitch, Amazon's Twitch, is going to lay off 35% of its workforce. Wowzy. Wow. That's crazy. 35% of its workforce. Twitch de Amazon despedirá. That's the accent, Snatch. I don't know when. Despedirá al 35% de su plantilla. This is an article from Reuters. The news again coming from Bloomberg, though. Amazon.com's streaming unit, Twitch, is set to cut 35% of its staff, or about 500 workers. According to Bloomberg News, reported on Tuesday. Citing people familiar with the plans. The move could be announced as soon as Wednesday, the report added. The business remains unprofitable 9 years after Amazon's acquisition of the company. 9 years unprofitable. That's surprising to me. Because, I mean, I know most of you who are listening to this on the radio, or you just access the podcasts, or a couple of thousand of you probably never even touched Twitch. Look, hang on, wait. Apparently, I pronounced that badly. Despedirá. Yeah, that should help. Despedirá. Okay. I got the nod. When I get the golden nod, I know I'm on track. You've got the grumps, as yeah, I do have the grumps. Thanks, chat. Where were we? Yeah, because Twitch is a massive platform. Okay, YouTube is probably one of the... Well, YouTube, a little bit of an insight into YouTube. It's the world's second, or was the world's second most popular search engine. Uniquely among search engines, the thing that makes YouTube's search engine unique is it only searches within its own site. YouTube is massive. It's massive. It's the biggest video uploading, video consumer website in the world. Twitch, for me, is bigger than YouTube when it comes to streaming. Twitch is a big deal. Hundreds of thousands of people are watching Twitch every single minute of every single day. It's mainly known as a video game streaming platform, but there are people who do all kinds of things. I used to stream art on here as well as the podcast. You know, people are streaming all sorts of things. ASMR. This might turn into an ASMR show. If I get any grumpier, it'll just be me growling. So it's a massive company, so it's surprising that 9 years, for the 9 years since Amazon purchased the company, it has been unprofitable. Twitch did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comments. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy said in December that the company would shut down operations in South Korea in February this year due to high operating costs and network fees. The company had laid off more than 400 employees in March last year after its user and revenue growth did not meet expectations. Uh-oh. What do you think, Natch? We've got YouTube. Where should we move the stream, guys? You tell me. Anyway, okay, let's continue. And we're nearly through the news. All right. Today's unpopular opinion is with regards to censorship. There is one platform, Natch and audience, there is one platform out there that claims to be the last bastion of free speech. Its owner says it's the only place where free speech and censorship is not. You will never see it there. What platform am I talking about, Natch?
I'm afraid it's X.
yeah, it is X, Twitter. Wop, wop, wop. Ah. So, as the last bastion of free speech, the last place where people don't get censored, X. Let's talk about X for a second. X purges prominent journalists, leftists, with no explanations. X depura a periodistas destacados y a izquierdistas. Oof. Oh, come on. That wasn't a convincing nod, Natch. Izquierdistas? I don't know when to lisp with Castilian Spanish. I'm guessing 100% of the time. Sin dar explicaciones. Yeah. So apparently you don't get censored on X unless Elon Musk doesn't agree with your political views. So this is an article from Vice. The article from Vice reports that several prominent journalists and left-leaning commentators are unexpectedly suspended from X, formerly known as Twitter, without any clear explanation. Affected individuals include Stephen Monticelli of the Texas Observer, Ken Klippenstein, just a list of left-leaning journalists. The suspensions, which also targeted accounts like the True Anon podcast and others, were carried out without a specific reason being provided, merely linking to X's terms of service. This incident follows previous bans on reporters by the site, including a permanent suspension of a Wired reporter in April and 10 journalists critical of the site's owner, Elon Musk. Hours after the initial suspension, some accounts were reinstated without explanation. Oh. Elon, go home, you drunk. I read something the other day about Elon. Apparently, I don't know if it was SpaceX or Tesla, but the shareholders worrying that he might be on drugs. Might be on drugs. Are you guys serious? Oh my God. Are you used to use Twitter? I think it was the only platform you used to kind of regularly use, right, Natch?
I only use it to answer some tweets.
Yeah, I only use it to argue with people, really. I only use it to piss people off, just to get my little shot of adrenaline in the morning. Mi chute de adrenalina. No, it's not true, actually. I kind of use it to post the podcast. I am such a lame duck on social media now. I'm so lazy with it. Here's the show, listen to it. But the only thing I put any effort into is Instagram, and I'm even bored with that now. Anyway, let's see. And finally, do we want another news story? Do we have even time for another news story? I'm afraid we don't. Let's move on to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, people in the audience, it's time to wake up. We need your input for it. It is today's unpopular opinion. Today's brain fart. Today's pedomental rayada is all forms of censorship should be abolished. Todas las formas de censura deberían ser abolidas. All forms of censorship should be abolished. So this is going to be another interesting topic with quite a lot more grey area than you might think. Eugene here says, I agree, I live in a country with a lot of censorship. Government censorship, right? Yeah. Eugene, our friend here, joining us all the way from Russia. Okay, Natch, so how do you feel about this? Should we be abolishing all types of censorship?
I think so, yes.
Yo, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Yes, but well, with limits. Well, with a limit, no limit. I don't know how to explain it. Like the normal behavior, like until you don't hurt anyone or you don't. I don't know. Limitas los derechos de otros. Like
I get you.
Other rights.
I get you. But I mean, it's who decides? Who decides then where those lines are? I agree with you. Like, it would be nice to have less kind of censorship in the world. But then who decides where to draw the line? So I asked on Instagram, I made this very black and white statement on Instagram, and they voted. How do you think that they voted, Natch?
I think they said true.
They did. Little or a lot?
A little.
You're on fire, Natch. 62% said true. Yeah, it's not that many, really. Yeah, I do wish there were less censorship in the world. There's two ways to take this, right? Because government censorship, or people propagandizing people, that is a real danger, clear and present danger to voters, to democracy. But then on both sides of the aisle, I think both left and the right are worried about censorship. Like, should people be censored from expressing political opinions? Should people be censored? Should comedy be censored? Should art be censored? Because it offends people. Because you feel like it's unjust or incompatible with your sensibilities. Censorship is such a quagmire. It's such a messy argument, and we're going to dive into that argument right now with some pros and cons. I'm going to kind of leave off my actual feelings about this until the second half of the program. But what I did do this morning was thoroughly torture the elves, and they gave us some pros and cons. Let's get into those right now. Okay, so in the pro column, agreeing with the point that censorship should be abolished, that we should abandon all forms of censorship. Abolishing censorship upholds a fundamental right to freedom of expression. It allows for the free flow of ideas, opinions, and information, which is essential in a democratic society. Without censorship, there is a less risk of governmental or institutional abuse of power. Censorship can be used to suppress dissent. So it can be used to kind of stop people from rising up against injustice. It can be used to manipulate public opinion or hide information which is detrimental to a free society. But can the opposite not also be true, Natch? If we just allow the free flow of information, if we don't censor anything, like, for example, if we don't censor news that is proven to be fake, if we just let people say whatever the hell they want, can that not also be used to suppress dissent, to manipulate public opinion? Look at Brexit. I mean, I'm British, so I say Brexit, but there are many, many other examples of that. Next, abolishing all forms of censorship. Here we go. Unrestricted expression can lead to greater creativity and innovation. Artists, writers, and creators can explore and communicate without fear of suppression, leading to a richer cultural landscape. True, but there's also another way to look at this. Quite often, the rules and barriers, figuring out solutions to be able to do and say whatever the hell you want. Maybe occasionally that can increase your creativity too. I'll get more into that in the second part of the show. Finally, in the pro column, exposure to a wide range of views and information enables individuals to develop critical thinking skills. It fosters a more informed, engaged populace that can debate and challenge different viewpoints. And finally, in the con column, saying no, we should not be abolishing all forms of censorship. Some level of censorship is necessary to protect individuals, especially children, from exposure to harmful content such as extreme violence, hate speech, or pornography. True story, right, Natch? So here's where we enter a bit of a grey area. Censorship can play a role in upholding public morality and societal harmony. Censorship can be crucial for national security, and in the age of misinformation and fake news, some level of censorship can help in preventing the spread of false or misleading information. All right, there you go, guys. Those are your pros and cons. I'm looking forward to seeing you vote in the chat. You guys are the decision makers who are watching us live, so please participate in the vote on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. All right, my friends, we have to go for a quick commercial break. There is only time left for me to say, God, there are so many things you could have been doing this morning, guys. An infinite number of things. But instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with Anach and myself. And it means the absolute world. I will see you in 4 short minutes. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, PROBOH. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the ProBoh Show. It is 9 a.m. Central European Time. Welcome, welcome. You've got us here for another 30 minutes before we are taken over by the one and only Mr. Fitz with no excuses. If you're one of our podcast listeners, by the way, thank you for downloading. A lot more people rating the podcast. Thank you for that. I thoroughly appreciate it. All right, if you just tuned in, what have you missed? Well, we took a look at some job cuts in the world of tech. Amazon's Twitch losing 35% of its workforce soon, reportedly, and Duolingo cutting 10% of its contractors. Why? Well, in the case of Duolingo, it's because they're using more AI to create content. Last year, I can't remember when it was last year, but we reported that BuzzFeed fired almost all of its writers to rely on AI-generated content. It's getting worrying, man. You know, didn't we think that AI was going to cause, like, the next apocalypse? It was going to be like Terminator 2. And here's AI writing internet content and painting lovely pictures. I want to work like AI. I want AI's job. Is that possible? Can I have it AI's job? All right, and then we moved on to the news from the world of censorship, if you like, linked closely to today's unpopular opinion. The X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, has purged depura. They've purged prominent journalists and left-wing commentators with no explanation. Yeah, apparently you're allowed freedom of speech as long as you agree with Elon Musk. There you go. Go home, Elon. Yeah, drunk. And then we moved on to today's unpopular opinion. All forms of censorship should be abolished. True or false? We have the results in from the chat. Interesting. So, yeah, Instagram said true. I would say by enough to say it was a decisive true. 62%, but still not overwhelming. Just before the break, we got into some pros and cons. We mentioned that abolishing censorship, it hinders the right to, or the freedom of expression. It can be used to suppress dissent. And then we got into the idea that freedom from censorship or freedom from rules can enhance creativity. I'm not sure that's the truth. I'm not sure that's the whole picture. Sometimes rules and limitations actually can help foster creativity, in my mind, anyway. We got into some cons, saying that some level of censorship is always going to be necessary to protect the most vulnerable in society there. I mean, children, obviously. But yeah, I mean, who cares what I think? I'm just a big bald guy in front of a microphone. Eugene here. Let's read some comments in the chat. Eugene says fake news always found the way to people with or without censorship. Most Russian TV is just fake news, although there's a lot of censorship on the TV. Yeah, but that's the thing. Censorship can be used. I mean, how do you prevent the truth from getting out to people? Well, you censor it. That goes against the ideals of this government. That doesn't get out on this government-approved TV station, right? And it's still a form of censorship. Let's continue. Born to Iron Man, how are you doing? Born to Iron Man, welcome. So here we go. Today's discussion is whether all forms of censorship should be abolished. It's clear, to me at least, that some forms of censorship are necessary. As Natch quite rightly said in the first part of the show when we asked him, do you believe all forms of censorship should be abolished? Yes, but... Because nobody wants kids watching violence. No one wants people to be posing as legitimate news outlets. Enhancing the proliferation of fake news. We seem to see censorship only painted in a bad light. But there are certain activities within censorship that are clearly for the public good, right? I guess does it depend on the government or the society that you're in, the governing body, which the people who say what should and should not be censored? Maybe. But that doesn't make censorship itself wrong, or does it? If you have an opinion, you can share it with us right now on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. Okay, I'm going to read some messages I got on Instagram when I posted the poll. Eliza writing to us again, absolutely, censorship should be a no-go. Or should be a no-no, sorry, my bad. I've seen how it stifles the truth. We need open dialogue, even if it's uncomfortable. I agree. I agree with that statement. We need to listen to things that make us uncomfortable. We need to listen to things we don't agree with. It's good for us to listen to a full spectrum of ideas. It just seems to me in this partisan, divided political landscape that people are more and more incapable of doing that. The right are saying that the left is too woke. The left is saying that the right are fascists. And no one's in the middle just saying, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's have a little nuance in this conversation. Let's hear everybody out. Yeah. And it makes me sad. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Henry, welcome. He said, it's complex. I'm all for access to knowledge, but completely abolishing censorship, it might be a bit extreme. Some things, especially harmful misinformation, need a check. True. You may be a fan of your particular kind of podcaster or whatever rag it is you use to get your information. But what about if that news outlet or if that outlet of information is proven to be falsifying information? What if the facts that they are proclaiming are proven to be lies? Are you outraged that they have been censored? Or are you grateful that you've been guided towards the actual truth? I would dare say you'd be more outraged. Oh, that's just the system. That's just the system, the man trying to keep the truth at bay. Again, I mean, we're kind of on a little bit of a topic of, at least this week, I'd like to cover it a little bit. The idea of conspiracy and conspiracy theory thinking. That's just the deep state trying to block the truth. Or maybe just some information is just a lie, and it shouldn't be allowed to spread. It's a minefield out there. Let's continue. So thank you for that. Henry. Great comment. Amina says, I'm from a human rights perspective, I'd say yes to abolishing censorship. It's often used to silence important voices. But we also need to ensure that this freedom doesn't infringe on others' rights. Again, that's kind of mirroring what you said, Nat, right? Abolish freedom as long as it doesn't... abolish censorship, sorry. Oof, abolish freedom. I'm going to get messages. See, he's a deep state shill. He's a globalist. The bald man agenda. Yeah. Agreeing with what you said there. That we should restrict censorship as long as it doesn't infringe on a person's rights or health or well-being. Well, who's to say what does and doesn't affect your mental health, right? Do you believe... Okay, here's a question for you. We'll start with you, Natch, while the chat answers. Should we get rid of Facebook, Instagram, these things that have been proven to be detrimental to kids' mental health?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, you have to put limits, like access limits, until you are an adult that you decide. But
most of the content on there, all right, so that's an interesting and valid point, right? Most of the content on there isn't damaging to kids. They aren't reading anything that's harmful or promoting violence or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's a minefield. The whole idea of censorship, of censoring platforms and information, it's a minefield because we, as individuals, we tend to, or we generally, or a lot of times, we act without our best interest in mind. You know, I gave the example yesterday of the fact that if I had free reign of my TV viewing, I would and do watch trash. Reality TV, and it's terrible. I mean, on the other side of that, I read a lot, so, you know, don't worry, I'm not being turned into a complete zombie. But yeah, if you ask me what I want to watch, I'm going to watch 24/7 reality TV. Back 30 years ago, we had public service broadcasters whose remit was to do three things: educate, entertain, and inform. So at one point, at every point of the day, you were always being exposed to different ideas, elements of culture, the news, even if you didn't want it. But it was good for you. You know, it exposed you to a spectrum of ideas and thoughts. It exposed you to a spectrum of culture. You know, now with the proliferation of genre format TV, I'm talking about like Discoveries, all documentaries, movie channels that are all movies. You know, fictional content, which is all of one thing. You know, sometimes it's good for us to do the things that are unpleasant. I mean, and we know that. Nobody wants to work for a living. No one wants to work for a living. No one. All right, except for you, because you love your job or whatever. Stand aside. Most people don't want to work for a living. Yeah, no, they want to spend time with their families and do things that are emotionally enriching to them. And 9 times out of 10, that's not work. Nobody wants to work for a living, but we do it. Why? Because we understand that exchanging our time for cash is in the long run beneficial to us and our families, and we do it. It's a bitter pill we swallow. But we tend not to treat information in the same way. Right? And that whether that information be consumed in the media, in social media, or wherever, we tend not to think like that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are problems with censorship. Why is it I can watch on TV before the watershed, hours while kids are watching, I can watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he's shooting people, but I can't see a nipple? Okay, I'm not saying the censorship model is perfect. It's not. But the idea of abolishing wholesale censorship seems a little naive to me, I think. Anyway, we've got more comments here. Darren, I hate the idea of someone censoring the internet, but no censorship, that could lead to a lot of harmful stuff spreading unchecked. We need balance, I guess. That's from Darren. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, I would agree. I think balance is the key, as always, right? God, how many times do we say this on the show? You know? In a world that just wants to force you into a pigeonhole where you're either black or white, true or false, you're one thing or another. You know, nuance exists, and in reality, shades of grey are the key. You know, we all exist in shades of grey, whether we want to think so or we like it or not. I'd say anything that you consume that tells you it's one thing or another and nothing in between, that's probably just a lie. Let's see what the bridge is saying here. Why is it called reality TV? Asked the bridge. I don't know. I don't know, because it's probably the furthest thing from reality. I'm in bed watching the ProBoh Show. Okay. You show me your hands. I want to know you're being good. All right, so how did you guys vote on this? All important. How did you guys vote? So I made the rather strong black and white statement that all forms of censorship should be abolished, and you guys said 60% false. The elves there clapping before I even said anything. Natch, give them a good kick for me. 60% false. You know, I can only say good job. You know, good job. It's so hard, isn't it, to accept the fact that sometimes there are things we shouldn't be exposed to. You know, we believe that freedom is 100% to our net benefit. Freedom of choice, freedom of expression, freedom to consume whatever the hell it is we want. And, you know, in most cases, that might be true, but there are always nuances in every argument. And again, I think the key here, for most, if not everything, is balance, right? We all agree we want to be able to access information, whether any government or body tells us we can or we can't. But we can also agree we don't want kids to watch violent, disturbing content. You know? We all agree that we should have the choice to be able to access anything, but that some people should have that access restricted. And here I'm talking about children or vulnerable people. So the idea that all censorship should be abolished, it's just so much more grey than we would like to admit, I think. On that note, guys, we're going to continue this topic of censorship by resurrecting a game that Natch and I played on an extra nyom. The name of that game... Actually, can we just get some different background music and we'll just get into it? Woo! All right. Okay, how does this game work? All right. I have two websites here. Both of them are for video content. Okay? What would you say, Natch, is the biggest video content platform on the interweb?
YouTube.
YouTube. It is. There is another content provider that has different kinds of content, more adult content. It's called Pornhub. Bum, 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 bum. I have in front of me a list of comments. Your job in the chat and the Natch is to tell me whether those comments came from Pornhub or from YouTube. As we all know, YouTube comment section is a quagmire, miserable, horrible place. But why Pornhub? Why are we talking about this right now? Why? Because this is Pornhub is currently going through a massive battle in the United States to remain for its content to remain open and accessible to the public. Anyway, so let's get into this. So your job in the chat, my friends, get ready. I need your help here. This is today's 100 humans. Is to tell me whether the comment came from Pornhub or YouTube. All right, are you ready, Natch? Okay, let's get started. Here we go. First comment. Best feet in the world. Los mejores pies del mundo. All right. Get ready, chat. All you have to write is Pornhub or YouTube. Okay. What do you think, Natch?
I'm going to say YouTube.
You're going to say YouTube. You think I'm being tricky with you here?
Yeah.
Best
sounds
feet
like
in the world.
maybe a footballer. I don't know.
Natch, next level thinking. Natch is playing 3D chess. Okay, the chat agrees. Oh, no, the chat doesn't agree. The chat says Pornhub. So it's chat versus Natch. Who wins? It's YouTube. Well done, Natch. Okay, here we go. Next one. Can someone please help me make a nice lasagna for my niece's 7th birthday? I can't get my noodles to stop sticking together. This is a genuine comment, I promise you. ¿Alguien puede ayudarme a hacer buena lasaña para el 7º cumpleaños de mi sobrina? No consigo que mis fideos dejan de pegarse. Can someone please help me make a nice lasagna for my niece's 7th birthday? I can't stop my noodles sticking together. Is it Pornhub or is it YouTube? Okay, I see the chat here is has an idea. What do you think, Natch?
I wish it's Pornhub.
You want it to be Pornhub?
Yeah.
It is Pornhub. Well done. Okay, that's a tie. It's a tie between Chat and the Natch. Okay, so Natch is currently in the lead, 1-0. Should we do another one? Oh, God, we've still got time. Awesome. I'm guessing... Okay, here we go. I'm guessing that you were a world-class gymnast in another life. Supongo que fuiste un gimnasta de clase mundial en otra vida. I'm guessing you were a world-class gymnast in another life. Is it Pornhub or is it YouTube? Oh, come on, Natch. What do you think?
YouTube.
You think YouTube? The chat seems to agree. But is it Pornhub or is it YouTube? It's YouTube. Well done, Natch. Well done, chat. Natch still in the lead. Still in the lead. Let's do the last one. Okay. How do I install a Minecraft texture pack? So a texture pack is like to make for video games. Minecraft, you know Minecraft. So, you know, to give the bricks a different kind of look. How do I install a Minecraft texture pack? ¿Cómo instalo un paquete de texturas de Minecraft? Is it Pornhub or is it YouTube? Okay, if the chat can't decide, if you can't come to a consensus, this goes to Natch. Okay, what do you think, Natch?
Pornhub.
I think Pornhub. I'm looking at the chat and it seems like they agree that it's Pornhub. What's the truth? Is it Minecraft? Is it Pornhub? Is it YouTube? It's Pornhub. Well done, well done, well done. And well done to you, Natch. Natch beat the chat. I love that section when we did it on Extra Nyoms, and I love it now. Let's go to complete the news.
Complete the news!
I understand there might be younger people listening to the show. You're saying, what? You're asking your mum now, right? What's Pornhub? What's Pornhub? When a mummy and a daddy love each other very much, they get a video camera. Just ask your mum. All right, anyway. This is to complete the news. I'm going to give you a news headline, but I'm going to leave out some important information. Your job in the chat is to identify the missing information with the 3 options I give you. Here we go. Let's get into it. This is from CNN. The actor Russell Crowe says he's related to blank. Russell Crowe dice que está aparentado con blank. Is it A, the last Egyptian pharaoh? Is it B, the last Roman gladiator? Or is it C, the last man beheaded in England? Woo. Russell Crowe says he's related to blank. Is it A, the last Egyptian pharaoh, el último faraón egiptico? Is it B, the last Roman gladiator, el último gladiador romano? Or is it C, the last man beheaded in England, el último decapitado en Inglaterra? What do you think? A, B, or C? Yeah, Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, great actor, man. Great actor. Apparently a bit of a wild man, I've been told. I've been told, like, I know his friends. Like, I've read. Yeah, when Russell and I are hanging out, guys. So, yeah, Russell Crowe says he's related to the last blank. Is it the last Egyptian pharaoh, the last Roman gladiator, or the last man beheaded in England? A, B, or C? All right, what do you think, Natch?
C.
You think C, the last man beheaded in England? Seems like chat agrees with you, C, but is it the correct answer? Let's get a little drum roll. Russell Crowe says he's related to C, the last man beheaded in England. True story. Russell Crowe, known for his roles in historical films, has revealed that a personal connection to history. He's related to Simon Fraser, the 11th Lord Lovat, a Scottish Jacobite, and the last man to be executed by beheading in England. Fraser, nicknamed the Old Fox, was beheaded in the Tower of London in 1747 at the age of 80. Jeez Louise! At the age of 80, is it even worth it? Just wait 5 minutes. Crowe, who is related to Fraser through his parental grandmother, shared an intriguing story about Fraser's execution. Guys, I will post all the links in my Patreon. You can find that at patreon.com/professional bohemian. Friends, thank you so much for joining us on today's ProBoh Show. We'll be back with more tomorrow. See you then.